Kind of ripped.
Yeah. Let everyone see my beautiful face.
Yeah, did you shave? Look at
I
you.
I, I made myself look presentable for you.
Oh, thank you. And your new whip and everything like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's get some people on here. As people are jumping on. Um, Guys, if you're on too, I want to make sure I'm going to go through and mute your guys, everybody. What I want to do during this call is just kind of talk about Brett, his story, what he's been, where he was at, and where he's at right now. And then what we'll kind of do is kind of do a roundtable, ask me anything, just about maybe some things in his business that he's been able to do, what's working, what's not working. The secret to Brett's ads, which everybody wants to know about, which there is no secret. Sorry, guys, to ruin the interview already. But I figured we just kind of shoot and wrap right off the bat. So give everybody a little bit to jump on. It's funny, actually, when it's something really that people want, you actually get people on a call. Weird. This is probably like one of our better turnouts. Thanks, guys. When you actually show up. All right.
A
Let
little more
me
valuable, huh?
I guess. Well, I'm gonna do so. Actually, Nick's out of town Friday, so I got to do the coaching call with our core with everybody in core on Friday, and everybody else. So I bet you that everybody's gonna show up on Friday because I'm doing a call versus Nick.
Nick, yeah.
So
Yeah.
just one of those things. So, anyways, guys, I'm gonna begin, and I love for Brett just to kind of Brett, for those of people that don't know you, tell people a little bit about who you are and more importantly, kind of who you help because I think that would give people a better understanding of what you do and actually kind of who your ideal client is.
Yeah, no, my name is Brett Kahanowicz, and I just run stupid simple ads, really,
Yeah.
if that's work. No, but my name is Brett Kahanowicz. I'm in charge of the Forged with Purpose program, where we help Christian dads just reclaim their role as spiritual leaders of the household and really become the man that God's called them to be. And that's through our mindset, discipline, our leadership curriculum, as well as training. But like we've gone on, I've been in the program since about September, October, and yes, I was only making $5,000 a month. And I was like, cool, let's get to 10. Great, I've made it 100%. And it's like, how do we continue to grow this thing? And it wasn't until we made the leap into elite with actually working with Will on a one-to-one basis that we actually started this process of getting to where we are now. And that's why we're on this call. But it's really more importantly on how we were able to develop everything that we've done to this point, which is the last 5 to 6 months of really just developing. As I was talking with Will about it yesterday, we had to develop the speed to lead kind of framework. As we always talk about money loves speed, but sometimes we need to make sure that we're set up for speed. And it was also kind of in the point of I was scared. I didn't want to just continue throwing more money. I wanted to find the cool best thing that made it cheap. And then Will's always like, Brett, just spend more money. Brett, spend more money. Brett, spend more money. Hey, Brett, spend more money. And
Yeah.
then finally spent more money, and we hit our record month of $265,000 this last month, which is more than I've ever made in an entire year. But that's not really what it's about. It's about changing people's lives and being like knowing your identity. And me as a Christian dad, Christian husband, Christian father, my whole purpose and goal was to be the spiritual leader, be the man that God's called us to be, and have that purpose in my life. And now having the purpose, clear cut direction, now I'm able just to speak what I normally do. And honestly, now I rarely post content. I don't need to anymore because we understand our image, our kind of leadership, our stance. And most of you probably have more followers than I do. And it's not about the follower, but that's really what we started off early on was, okay, we just need to build credibility. Cool. We're just going to run some follower ads, get people interested into what we're doing. And then slowly over time, it's like, a cool, fine tune the message. What is the message we're trying to portray? Who are we trying to help support? Because first on, the message was, cool, we just ran people within our city. And that was just Ventura County Christian dads, Christian men, Christian individuals. And we basically within the first 3 weeks, I made more than I did the previous 2 months alone, which was 11,000 in 3 weeks. And I was like, cool. maybe it is this identity thing is playing into this. How do we do this more? And then it's really just now it's just static image ads and saying, hey, this is what we do. If you like it, you're in. If not, hey, I know there's someone else there that, and it's really taking the emotions out of it.
Brett, I guess the question for me that I'll be very direct that everybody asks me about you is how do you or how are you differentiating yourself from a fitness coach, right? I think that is the best question that a lot of people ask me is like, hey, I see Brett helps Christian men. See he helps Christian dads. What is he actually doing, right? So in like, you don't have to give me like a 10-minute elevator thing, just like in a very simple message, how are you differentiating yourself from all the noise out there as somebody who does fitness? But that's not the core of obviously your program and what you're offering.
When I'm talking to these men, I'm not even bringing up the word fitness. I'm literally not even saying, yeah, cool, you want to lose weight, but what is that going to allow you to do? And that's really as simple as it is. Okay, cool. You lose weight. What is that going to do for you? You're in better shape. What is that going to do for you? And that's really where we want to get to is the outcome opposed to what they're actually there for. Yeah, we've had messages where it's, hey, we can make you lose 10 to 20 pounds within 90 days. Cool. But really, do you want to change your life? And how do you change your life? Well, with consistent, routine, sustainable habits within our leadership development, within our mindset, and that's really why. And 5% of the program's fitness. And we only utilize fitness as developing consistency. So that's really where I lead into the fitness, because if we're able to be consistent within just our 30-minute trainings a week, that's going to pour into the other key elements of our daily devotionals, our weekly guided Bible studies, our weekly calls, and all these things. So it's really, I don't even bring up fitness when I'm talking to these men on our strategy calls, our consultation calls, even having our setters, not even bringing it up. It's like, okay, what are your goals?
Yeah.
What have you done in the past? And it's really not nothing about fitness, weight loss, or anything like that. Yes, it's a part of the program, and those are the tangible results. But hey, I'd rather see who you are as a man opposed to the way that the world sees your view.
Yeah, 100%. Brett, when you're talking to prospects, early on, I know you don't really do sales calls anymore. What were the promises? Because everybody asked me this question too, of like, how are you presenting your offer to somebody? Because obviously you can say, hey, I'm going to help you become a better person, right? That's great, dandy, everybody, that's yay. What is the goal that you're trying to portray to these men of what your program is going to solve for them?
So we solve a variety of different things, anywhere from actual marital counseling to the components of just, yeah, of fitness, weight loss. So we do have a tangible outcome of, yeah, we will help you lose within the 4 months of the first 4 months of the program. We will help you lose 20 pounds.
Yeah,
But more importantly is we have what we call is our 90% 10% rule is you need to commit to 90% of the dailies to be able to achieve the 10% that you're looking for. And that's really where it gets to kind of that mindset development is if you're continually doing the 90% of the program, you're going to be above the top 10% within what we're doing. And that's the outcome that we say is you're going to become the spiritual leader of your household. I can promise you that. And if you're not, well, are we doing the dailies? Are we doing the things? And are we following the curriculum? And ultimately, it's just that's really what the outcome is so much more than just saying you lost 20 pounds. It's great. That's a byproduct of what the other elements that you did to get here.
100%. So, Brett, kind of talk me through. Obviously, you've been with me for like 6, 7 months. I think back in October, you hired another coach before us, and you were kind of stuck at that 5K. And then, obviously, even up until what? I mean, December, we were at what, 20, 30, hovering, give or take. What I
22,
guess
yeah.
was kind of the shift for you of going, okay, I really have something. And then kind of talk me through kind of just the thought process of like turning it from 20 to 30 into obviously where you're at right now. Because there's a lot of pieces in between that of going from 20 to 50, 50 to 100 and being able to continue to grow. So kind of walk me through just the mindset that you had as you were growing and scaling this business. And more importantly, how to remove yourself as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, the mindset was I know I'm a great coach. I know this, so I bet on myself. And then, yeah, I was in another program, and basically it was to the point where like I know there's more to this. I'm not getting it from where I am now. And I go back to is our first conversation was just be who you are. That was our first conversation that we ever had is like, just I'm like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by be who you are? I'm like, I am who I am. But it's
Yeah.
like, no, it's like lean into it. Is actually go all in. And that's
Yeah.
really where that's the true mindset shift, if we're actually being honest, and why you guys are all here. That's why you guys are all been challenged by Will, is because he's saying, knock it off, stop being scared and get after it. And that's
Yeah.
really the challenge of it all, is that's where I was there literally. I think Danielle and Ryan, we've been in that same boat when we first started. It was like the scared mindset is like, what am I truly scared of? Because we're really just I'm betting on myself.
Yeah.
Why am I scared to bet on myself? Do I not think I'm going to succeed? Because you already had the positive mindset of, Brett, you can do this. Is you're getting people to pay for your services right now. So
Yeah.
why are you so scared to do it at a higher level? And that's when it was like, yeah, we were spending even just $50 a day on just routine follower ads, the domestic ads, as well as then the national ads. Um, and it really was just like, okay, there's something to this. And then I think it was like, okay, cool. I'm so excited. Now I just need to start hiring people. Well, it's like, well, what am I actually hiring people for?
Yeah.
I can still handle all of the day-to-day operations. Why not continue to develop these systems that we have in place? That way, when we're slowly building and kind of delivering it off to people, you actually have stuff to deliver to them. So it's developing the kind of setter framework of basically the 5 questions, speed to lead and go. And if we can't get someone on a call within 5 questions, then we're probably not asking the right questions. So over the course of 3 months, that's what I was focused on. Is as I was building the business, was saying, okay, what are the key questions I need to ask to get people on a call? And then now I need to train people to do the same thing. And I've been able to do at such a high level because I used everyone internally within my own program.
Yeah.
They understood the exact framework that I use to coach people, and then they just transitioned to that same element of how now they're relaying that information in my DMs as my 5 coaches are coaching, and really just saying, hey, what are your goals? What have you done in the past to help you? What are you currently doing now? And then from there, it's like, hey, why did you reach out? What is it that you're actually seeking? Of cool, hey, this is the Forge with Purpose. Are you interested in really getting into it? And it's they're reaching out because they're interested. It's just getting them to say, hey, this is why we're building this thing. Cool. We've done that with our setters. We've done that with our closers. And now basically it was the transition was January, February when we started really making the change from it was 35,000 to 55,000. And then it was just basically Brett go all in. And also in the middle of all this, so you guys have some better context, is I basically started my wife's family medicine practice. So I use everything I made in the first 4 months of the program to then supply. So I went in all in on my wife before I even went in on all of myself, because I knew I could do it for her. And then it was saying, Brett, you can do this for yourself. You're actually already doing it with your wife. And in her first month, she made $270,000. That was like, okay, it's time to go. So it's like I had the social proof. I had all these things, and it was like, okay, cool. And I told Will, I was like, hey, I kept 10 grand for myself. It's time to just spend this 10,000 and make some money. So that's a little bit of everything that's been going on. But now to get to where we're at now, where I'm basically fully out of all of the processes, we have 3 closers, 1 head coach closer. We have 5 coaches, 1 head coach. I have 4 setters. And then I get just to do this. I get to basically get on calls with people and say, hey, what is it that you're struggling with? How do you need support? How can the team best support you? And so we have 2 leadership calls a week. And it's really, I'm able to give my time to where it's actually needed, opposed to trying to juggle all of these things to say, hey, this is one thing that I can't really invest in myself, because then it's going to detract me from this. So that's really where you need to start focusing on yourself, is saying, what is it that's actually taking too much of your time that you don't really need to invest in? So that way you can go deliver at a higher level somewhere else.
Yeah. 100%. So, Brett, I guess the big question too is just for a lot of the people that are coming in here and seeing obviously the success and seeing everything that you're doing, the question that everybody asks is, obviously about ads, right?
Mhm.
So, for you, I'm not going to say you're not, has it worked in quickly, but kind of talk me through kind of your process as far as like, okay, we started with follower ads, those were working, then we transitioned to DM ads, and really what's been like the secret that everybody wants to know of why your ads have been consistently working? If you could say one thing, what would you say is the magic, I guess, for you that you feel like it's really resonating with people?
It's direct. Literally, Christian dads. this is what you want. Is this what you want? And
Yeah.
within this time frame.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm not special, but I just know how to speak to my audience.
Yeah.
Once you realize how to speak to your audience, and that's what like Will's trying to get you to early on in the program is how to speak to your audience. So that's why, yes, we do we figure out what resonates most with your audience early on. That's the whole point of your content early on is trying to find out what's resonating with your audience the most.
Yeah.
Cool. Then let's go find out if it reaches out to the other people within the nation to say, hey, does this reach to your target audience as well? Cool. Now let's just throw some money on it because obviously it's working. And like I said, the follower ads early on were only to build my credibility. I just needed people to come into my page to see what I'm doing. And that's when when I started the program, I had like 1,000 followers. Now we're close to 8,000. But it was only to build credibility to say, hey, Brett has something here. And that way, when people did come to my page, it was like, okay, cool, he has something. And it wasn't meant to be like, I'm not putting stuff on my social media for anything other than just saying, hey, this is what I do. And I'm not building my program on social media. My program's built here online. It's not on social media. That's what I think a lot of people get caught up in is the only reason you're putting stuff out there is to kind of grab attention. Once you get their attention, get in contact with them as soon as possible. And that's where the speed to lead is early on follower ads, build credibility. Cool. We have social proof. Great. Now go. You
Yeah.
don't need to do more than that. And then once you have the proper message that basically you know who you're dialing in, it could be most of the guys I've been seeing is like busy dads. Well, what is a busy dad? What are they busy of? What are they busy doing? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, and really, so with me, it's just I'm just helping Christian dads. Yeah,
Yeah.
they understand who they are. You're a Christian, you're a dad. We understand that. Cool. What is it the main thing that Christian dads want? Well, they want to be seen and respected. What is respected? Spiritual leaders. That's respect. You see that as respect. Cool. And then what do you want? You want your purpose. What's your purpose? To be the man that God's called you to be. That's your purpose as a man. That's what you guys need to figure out is like, okay, who are you dealing with? What is it that they truly want? For men, they want to be respected. They want to be respected in society. They want to be respected in their house. They want to be respected in the bedroom. They want respect. How do you get them respect? Well, you find out their purpose. What is it that drives them? That's what
Yeah.
we've done with everything that we've been able to build. And that's why we're at $200,000. I just closed 5 more deals right as we're finishing this call. So we're at $200,000 within the first 9 days of the month.
Not bad. Pretty wild. Guys, and this is what Jeff talks about too, tribal language. That is the best way to put it. It is tribal language. You have to articulate, and this is why, guys, it's really important for you all to listen back to your sales calls, listen back to, the conversations you're having, because there's certain verbiage that your prospects will use that is unique to them. So are your dads actually saying dad bod? Are they saying beer belly? Are they saying like what is the specific words that they're saying? Are they saying I can't see my dick? I don't know. Maybe they are, but like you have to really understand what they're saying and then use that language towards them, right? So the thing that Jeff keeps on talking about is tribal language, tribal language, tribal language. So if you're saying busy professional, if you're saying weight loss, if you're so is everybody else. Like you guys are just in a red ocean. And I'm sorry, but you guys aren't like influencers. So like nobody's buying you because you have millions, millions of followers. They see an ad, and this is why static ads have been crushing so well lately. I see an ad, do I resonate with it or not? Do I click on it, yes or no? I mean, perfect example, Brett, and can speak on this. Brett, have we ever run a video ad besides the followers?
We've tried and they don't succeed.
Okay. Right. So we tried and it didn't succeed because it was just, here's the message. Is this you or not? And I think a lot of people are so afraid to be polarizing and be direct and call out this person because they're like, well, what if I don't get any leads? Well, you don't have any leads right now, so why does it matter? Right? So don't be afraid. Like if you guys look at some of the people that are doing millions of dollars a year in the fitness space, they are very, very specific about who they're going after, right? It is not generic in any regard. They'll call you out as far as the money you make, the type of person you are, that you like, it is very specific. Okay. So guys, I kind of wanted to kind of do an open Q&A. I don't want to take up too much of my time asking Brett questions. I'd love for you guys to open the floor. If anybody has questions, you can raise your hand and unmute yourself and just kind of do a Q&A session. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I had a question about the ads that you're running. Are you doing Facebook and Instagram, or are you just going with Instagram?
Yeah, we're just doing Instagram only. We have yet to master Instagram, and it's always changing. So why should we break something that's already working? So yeah, we just run Instagram. We just do our stories, the feed, and
And
then
reels.
the reels. Yeah.
And
Gotcha.
we
And then
actually tried. Go ahead.
oh, sorry, I was just gonna say, are you running Facebook ads that are just getting directed to your Instagram, or is it just straight Instagram, not even getting shown on Facebook?
Not even getting shown on Facebook.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, here's what I'll tell you guys about running ads on Facebook. Any type of DM ads on Facebook are usually garbage. The only type of ads that I would run on Facebook most of the time, and Nicole, I know you and I talked about this, I usually don't find anybody good when I run Facebook DM ads. If I run an ad to like an application or a landing page, okay, maybe. Like I get some pretty good calls from it. But for me, if I run ads to a DM on Facebook, it's usually trash. It just is a different type of person. And I know even Brett tried to do stuff without even telling me, and I would see his ads, and I was like, "Oh, how's that doing?" And he's like, "It's not." And I was like, "Okay," because Brett, would you do some low ticket thing for a while?
Oh yeah, I did the low ticket and it went.
He had this like great landing page, with
hmm
like 30 videos, this long form copy, and I was like, "Brett, how's that going?" He's like, "It's not," and I go, "Okay, dude, don't do that."
Don't do that. But yeah, we try guys. It's you may see the success right now, but you don't see all the failures that took it get to get there. Like it took, man, Will like so many times, like, dude, just go hire someone on Upwork for $5 and get this done. I'm like, fine. It's like,
Yeah, now we have Chat GPT. That didn't even exist two
yeah,
months ago, right? Half the stuff that we can make on Chat GPT didn't even exist, right?
yeah. It's like it's literally like you guys. I think even Will even posted it. It was like you guys don't see the work that it took to get here. That's what I'm here to share with. Is it wasn't just a success overnight. It was countless hours of fine tuning the process of what is working. Cool. Let's stay with that. Let's try to find out if we can make this even better. How do we do that? How do we make it better? Well, if one thing's working, guys, don't be afraid just to go all in on it. And that's really what Will said. He's like, Brett, your static ads are crushing. Just do it. And then he even said, I was like, oh, the survey funnel's coming. He's like, dude, don't get too caught up in the survey funnel. Survey funnel stunk in my regard. It was like I was booking a call for like $1,000. I was like, dude, this like
Yeah,
I spent $1,000 to get one booked call.
yeah,
So but the guy signed up. So I was like, hey, we made money. But it's like, hey, it's
yeah.
cool. Still, it's a 5x ROAS, but it's like who cares?
No,
If one
because you
thing,
guys, that's a question I get all the time. Listen, ads work, right? And there's a lot of different ways to run ads, whether it's a follower ad, whether it's a DM ad, whether it's whatever. You got to figure out what works for you. Because I have clients in the program that are making over $100,000 a month with follower ads still. I don't get it. And I have some people that are doing $100,000 a month with DM ads. I don't get it. For me, I've never had success anything else outside of an application, but I think B2B is different than B2C. But the main thing that you guys have to take away from anything is I don't care what ad strategy you use. The secret to Brett's success, and I'll say it because I know it's true, is the ability to get somebody on a phone. Like, I think way too many people have like a 60 application, jump through hoops, watch this video, called it too much. Like, I know for me, I'm gone. Like, I want to get you on a call as quickly as possible, have a short conversation, figure out if you're qualified, figure out if we can help, and then either sell them there or get them on a sales call, right? Ashley, you have a question?
Or I'm trying to catch my breath. I'm at the gym. Brett, my question is, we're trying to scale our business out. We're at like 70 grand a month organic. We're running ads. Now we have tons of ads rolling in. So now our organic messaging is like a little wonky. You hired a lot of people. Like, how are you? Sorry, I'm so out of breath. How are you managing multiple setters in the whole process? Like, because that's what we're struggling with now is like, we need to hire a second setter, but how are you managing the team that way? Like, are you doing shifts? Like, how are you paying commissions? Because that's where we're like, fuck, if we start running these ads and they blow up, like, what do we do? So I know that some of our, like, what's holding us back is Will's like, run this, you're going to get thousands of leads. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know if we can handle thousands of leads. Like, so I need to figure out how to build the team and be confident in that.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And also, I think you also asked for the DM script, right? Yeah, so I posted the DM script in there as well. But as far as so you need to be in constant communication with your team. That way the message is being relayed. And so with us, we have a 30-minute Monday meeting every single Monday, and then a once a month 2-hour meeting talking numbers, actually paying out everyone's rev shares and things like that. So our closers, they make 10% on all commission. They make an 11% if they get paid in full. Most of them get the paid in full. And then our head closer, who's also in charge of managing the team, he gets 13%. As far as the setters, we just hired another setter. There's 3 different shifts and then a flex shift that is alternated every single day. So that way one person's not working 7 straight days. So we have 3 on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, and then 3 on a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday in 8-hour shifts, and then one person's a flex every other day. So that way they're in constant communication. They're picking up the slack. So they have a 4-hour shift in the morning, 4-hour shift in the evening. But like I said, I've hired everyone internally. I know most people don't have that luxury. Since we were able to develop this system over the course of the last 8 months, I've had the privilege of being able to fine tune who are great within my own business to then promote them into becoming coaches and promoting them to become setters and to kind of become the closer. So I've hired everything internally. I know not a lot of people have that luxury, like I said, but if you do it. It's
Yeah.
they understand your message better than anybody else could.
100%.
That's
Yeah, I
awesome.
mean,
I appreciate that.
go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, no, I appreciate that. I think that was my other question is like, obviously I'm a believer and I have it right on the front of my Instagram. Like I talk about God here. That way I can filter out people that don't want to be a part of that right from the get go. And I think that the hard part is like, as we're hiring people, it's like, I don't know if it's weird to get on a call with somebody and be like, hey, I need a closer, but do you believe in God? And are you comfortable having those conversations? And like, can you talk about that and be okay with it? So it's like, as a business owner, I'm like, I feel like I can ask that question. My husband's like, I think that's an HR violation. I'm like, I am HR. Like, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, it's not because it's part of your values. If it's in your mission, vision, values, you have that kind of scarcity to provide, is saying, hey, this is what we do, this is what we offer, and this is the target demographic that we're reaching. And then also to get to your point on the setters, so every setter makes $1,000 a month. I bumped it up $200 because they've just been
You were at 8, weren't you?
yeah, it was at 800. So they get the baseline of 1,000. So I'm paying basically $4,000 a month just in setters alone because of how great they are, the lifeblood. They're the ones that are getting people to in front of me, now in front of my team. And now they were at a 6% pot.
Gotcha.
I've bumped that up to 7.5%. That just be willing to kind of repay your team that are working so diligently. Like for me, I think that's also why like I don't care that I made 265,000 this month. I really don't. I I'm blessed that I have the opportunity to change people's lives even within my own team. And that's really what I think is different about what I'm offering is I solely believe that it's not about the money, it's about what I'm providing. And it's the service that I know the service I'm providing is truly changing people's lives.
Yeah. You guys, I was actually having a conversation with one of the elite clients the other day. I won't name his name. And we were talking about some of the things we've seen with inside of this community and stuff like that too. Here's what I'll tell you guys. Hiring is tough. All right. And if you've owned any businesses or in any capacity, hiring is tough. And a lot of people are so willing to not view people as actual people in their program or their coaching or whatever their business is. They view them as replaceable. And that is the biggest problem that I see with a lot of you guys as you're continuing to grow or trying to scale is that you're viewing these people that are coming into your business as just another number. And the reason why people leave companies is because they feel like that. If you're not taking care of people and trying to hire C players all the time, I'm going to tell you, you guys are going to have a very churn and burn business that every month a salesperson is going to leave, a setter is going to leave, and that is going to be every month over and over and over again. So eat the cost, pay an extra 3%, 2%, whatever. Factor it into your margins, throw it into your price. Like you guys are like, what's the analogy? Picking up pennies over whatever. Like, so for me, I rather pay an extra 10 to 20% over market average for whatever the position is to find a A player, because do I really want to micromanage a C player and have him have panic attacks and not doing what I need? No, that's actually adding more stress to my life and more work for me, and I don't want to do that. Mohammed, do you have questions?
Yeah. Hey guys. Brett, first of all, congrats on the success, man. I appreciate you coming on here today. Question, I think you hit it. One thing that really resonated with me was just building a strong identity for your niche, right? Not only helps with marketing, but also helps with your program, the life of your program, and retention. So we deal with male physicians, and we very much so want to build that identity that, hey, you're here, you come for the weight loss, but you're here for much more, right? How do you do that from the program delivery standpoint where you've got these guys, interacting or, contributing? Like, how do you build that culture?
Well, it's got to start with you. So in the sense of what I mean by that is I believe that this is more than just fitness. It's more than just weight loss. It's more than what people in the outside world see, because people see fitness and they say, oh, that's like a $50 a month thing. It's like, well, nutrition planning. Oh, that's like $100. Cool. It's like, really, what is it that we're doing? Well, we're developing sustainable, healthy habits over time. And that bleeds into every other element of our life. So what we do within our culture and our brotherhood and our Forged forum is, one, we have non-negotiables, is making sure, like what Will does with us is weekly, you have to post. And if you don't post, it's like, what are you doing? Do you even want to be here? Why aren't you doing this? If you can't be willing to take 5 minutes out of your day to answer a few questions, then you're really not setting yourself up for a lifetime of success. And that's really what it starts off, is you're setting the tone, you're setting the standard, you're being the example, because that's what you're asking of them. So it really has to come from you. So with us is, we hop on calls, and if you're not on the call, we have the other guys on that call reaching out to those people. It's like, why aren't you here? Aren't you wanting change? You said you want to change. Why aren't you showing up? And it's not even coming from me anymore, because I set that standard early on. 7 months ago, I set the standard even when we were still in our infant phase, is saying, why are you here? And that's really what you need to get to with every single person that comes through the program, is really, why are you here? We need to understand your why, so that way we can build that roadmap of where we're going, and then truly work backwards to get there. And that's what we've all done in here. That's what we've all done within our own businesses, our own systems, is truly, what is the why? What is it that we're trying to accomplish here? You want to work with busy male physicians. Why? Because I'm assuming you're a busy male physician, and it changed your life to be able to go help and serve others, so that way you can give them the best healthcare possible. That's the why that they need to be there. So why are you helping them do that? So that way more people aren't on that 46 to 60% obesity chart, especially within our in our country alone. And especially within the medical field. My wife, she's a physician, she's a doctor. She went direct primary care because she couldn't do what she needed to do within the health industry because of insurance. How do we combat that with us? Well, we can just sustain these healthy habits to allow for long-term success. So for you, that's really what you need to do, is saying, this is the why behind, and then get them to understand their own why.
Got it. No, that makes total sense. Like, lead by example, have a clear vision, non-negotiables. Like, at the same time, we're kind of balancing, right? These guys are busy, right? We do have like the PTD app where they do all their stuff. Plus we have the school, plus we have the messenger, right? It could feel very overwhelming. So do you have something in your program where it's like, hey, these are the top 2 things or 3 things that we got these guys doing to build this camaraderie? Right? Because I can add a bunch of stuff, but then that turns into overwhelm and then turns into inaction. So like, how do you do it so that way you accomplish that culture, but at the same time make them realize, hey, it just takes small steps. You don't have to do like tangibly. Like, is there something you guys do? Is it like a monthly like leadership meeting? Is it like how do you do that in your program?
So we have 2 non-negotiables within the program. The first one is, you must complete your daily devotionals and your weekly guided Bible studies. Those are the non-negotiables, because within our program, the more that we're pursuing what the Lord has for us in our lives, we're more willing to do it. So that's where it's all started, is making sure that we have the understanding of, This is no longer things that we're doing for ourselves. This is doing to glorify God. So if we're able to do that and change the mindset there, everything else is an act of worship. If we're taking care of our bodies, act of worship. If we're putting the proper food and nutrients in our body, act of worship. So that's where that's the first non-negotiable. The second non-negotiable is you must attend one leadership call every single week. And if you don't, oh, you better believe you're getting a message from me, either a phone call, either a, hey, what's going on? Or you're getting it from their own client success manager. Where are you? And that's what it takes it, because that's why they're there, is that accountability. And have you noticed, I didn't even say anything about their training. I didn't say anything about, because if they're showing up for those two things, they're going to be willing to do everything else because they know it's just part of the gig. They understand that, hey, if I'm doing my leadership, I'm going to want to lead by example. I'm going to want to do my nutrition. I'm going to want to do my training. I'm going to want to do my leadership curriculum. And that's how I keep people honest and open, because on those leadership calls, we're discussing where they are. Everyone's on a different plan. Everyone's on either on a 16-week, 24-week, or a full year curriculum. And it's really just saying, hey, even if you're in week 16, there's still somebody in week 1 who could benefit from you speaking.
I think the biggest thing, Mohammed, I'll tell you is it's leadership and it's accountability. You know, I know a lot of people, as you grow and scale, it's easy to kind of like just do things, daily operations, all that other stuff. You got to be willing to call people out. So if you guys aren't getting on calls or you're not showing up or I haven't heard from you, I'll find you, you know, and I'll yell. I'll be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" You know, because that's what it is. Most people, because they made the sale, are so worried that, oh my gosh, this person hasn't replied in a couple of days. If I message them, they're going to freak out. And no, you got to take ownership of that. Right. So I think it's full ownership as you, as a business owner, that you need to call people out on everything. Right. Sasha.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Hey, Brett.
Hey, Sasha.
So you had talked about, or you had mentioned your referrals that you'd gotten this last week or so, and that was pretty damn impressive. So I was wondering, like, when it comes to the referrals, and do you feel like what do you feel was the biggest thing that led to most of those referrals for you?
Just being genuine, delivering. But it's the biggest thing was I just asked every single person in the program, hey, who are 3 people that would benefit from this program? They gave
Like you
me
asked them, like,
hey, just
during that joining call, or like,
no. There's these people, like, basically within the first month of them joining, I will ask them within the first 1 to 2 weeks of, hey, how are you enjoying this program? And who are 1 to 3 people that you would feel that would benefit from this? That way, one, I'm getting actual intel on who they think could benefit because they feel that this program is beneficial. And 2, they're more bought in because they're like, yeah, this thing is beneficial. I am benefiting, and I've only been in it for 2 weeks. I feel my cousin or my brother or my coworker, these guys would actually benefit from it. Hey, Brett, here's their answers. Here's their emails. And all I ask for is a phone number and an email, and I'll do the rest. I literally I'll get on a call with them. Hey, yada, yada, yada. This is Brett, my client, Jake. He said you would really benefit from this. He's been doing this for about 3 to 4 weeks. This is some of his results. Would you be interested in learning more? That's all I ask. It's just being, hey, this is who I am. This is what we do. This is who gave me your name. That way they understand that it wasn't just some basically random person calling them.
yeah,
And then from there is, so yeah, I basically, so within the last 53 people that I messaged to get referrals from, I asked for 3 names. Yeah, we signed up 15, but that's still only 10% of the people, the numbers and names that I got of.
gotcha. Okay. And then you had mentioned that you had different programs, 16, 24, and a full year. What's the difference between the programs?
Time.
Just the time?
Time and involvement with me.
Yeah. Are you doing, Brett, any involved? What is that now?
So basically I'm only going to take on the full year clients. So that way I'm actually doing the leadership. I've bumped up my year pricing. I think we were at like 9,000. It's now double. It's 18,000. I just said, I don't have the time to do just these small things. That way I have to follow up with them. It's like, if you're wanting to work with me, we're working together for a full year and we're actually going to invest in this thing.
Yeah. Guys, you know, here's what I'll tell you too. You'll all get there, right? And again, even for me in my program, like I didn't start when I started back up 8 months ago, right? I was doing everything, right? It was a one-man show. I was setting, I was closing, I was doing everything. And as I grow and as I scale and my business continues to, guess what happens? Will only has so much time. So, even with Brett, as he grows and as he scales, the business is pretty much set on autopilot with his setters and closers. And now he can feel confident to say, hey, it's $18,000. And if they say no, guess what he says? Whoop-de-doo. I don't really care. You can join my other program. And then when you want the one-on-one, you can upgrade. Right? The other thing I'll give Brett credit to, I challenged Brett on the referrals and he went a little bit ballsy. So here's the thing, guys, money talks, right? So Brett, how much did you pay for referrals?
$1,000 per referral.
So most people that I hear, they're like, oh, I gave this person a free month of coaching. Yeah, I gave them, $100 gift card. Hey, I'll pay you $1,000. Well, oh, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
money talks. I mean, if you guys pay somebody $1,000 for a referral, you bet your ass I'm going to start dialing 3 to 4 people. That's easy money. And for Brett goes, okay, if my cost to acquire a client is probably $600 to $800 anyways, why not just get somebody that is a referral because that's going to be easier anyways. So instead of spending that money on ads, I can just ask people that it's going to be an easy close. Even if Brett didn't even use this closer, I don't know if you did or not. And then you go from there.
Yeah, we divvied it out. But
Yeah.
yeah, we paid like there was one guy who got his entire 4-month training. He got it paid for. Like he's like, yeah, I want more people in here. Let's do this. But also it's them being like, hey, like this is actually beneficial. So like, yeah, they see the value in it and you're offering financial gain, but also they want to do it with their friends. Like, why not?
Yeah. That's why the community aspect is so important, guys. The community is a big thing. And even if you look at my business, I've gotten probably a hefty amount of referrals in here. I mean, I bet I can name 4 or 5 of you guys that are in here because of somebody else that was in here, right? So it is kind of this business of like, getting people and friends and the connection and all that other stuff. So Zach K.
Yeah. Question on your sales process, Brett. Are you doing a 1 call or 2 call close?
One call. I do a triage. I call every single person as soon as they book within 5 minutes of their booking. Literally, it's the biggest game changer that happened to my business. Was literally just calling people and saying, I value you. And it's saying, hey, this is Brett. Thank you for your time. I look forward to the opportunity of sharing our strategy, our consultation, and the strategic roadmap with you. But before we get there, I'd just love to ask you a few more questions. And basically, hey, what is it that you do? 1, boom, right there. I understand if they have money or not. And then 2, it's like, hey, what was it really that drew you to this? I want to make sure I provide as much value as possible on this call with you. So could you just give me a little bit about like, hey, how long you've been pursuing something like this? What is it that you're actually looking for in a coach right now? That way I don't have to ask those questions. So I can just say, hey, this is what we do. This is what we offer. Are you interested on those sales calls? And that's literally I can get 5-10 minutes on that triage. Those 5 questions asked, answered, boom, I know exactly how to either tell my closer to close or handle the close myself. Now I don't handle any of those. I do little triage calls, but I've got the process so dialed in that it's not so much it's scripted. Hey, these are the questions I want you to ask. Just make sure they're asked. You ask however you want to do it.
So just for an example, DM process, the person's like, yeah, I'm down. Let's book a call. And then you're like, hey, let's not book a call. Let's just chat right now. Are you free for a quick 5-minute call?
Nope. They book the call and then I call them.
Okay. So they booked the call. You call them right away. This is your screening process, essentially, is this triage call to set them up for a 45 minutes call. And do you do that with every single client or just
Every single one.
do any? Okay. So
Every
it is a
single
2 call close process. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean,
And
Zach, if you look at my business too of how I run ads to an application to a calendar. Nate's calling you before your appointment. So that's how I run it in my business is the calendar, the booking's there just for shits and giggles, but Nate's calling you anyways. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they're booking a 45 minutes a Zoom call with you, but Nate's calling them before this 45-minute Zoom call.
Yeah.
Okay.
and here I'll promise you this, that 45-minute call is going to drop down to 30. Because you're just
Yeah,
going to
no, for sure. I've tested both out. I like the triage call. I wonder for myself, I'm like, I feel like there's a lot of people where I'm like, I don't need the triage call where I'm like, oh, this person's ready to fucking go.
Then,
But then
then
there's
just
some
close the
people.
deal.
And
Just
close
close the
them.
deal. Yeah,
Yeah.
just close it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry guys. I mean, if Nate does a triage call with somebody and they're like, I want to pay you money, I'm not gonna send them to pot. Like, I'm like, hey, close the deal.
Yeah, just
You
go get
know?
money. Just go do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, Cole raises
Yeah.
his hand, Seth raises his hand. I know there's one of me, right? That I was like, guys, let's not waste time, right? Cole, you got a question?
Yeah, I had a question. Do you have a strategy for your Instagram story every single day? Like, do you go into it knowing what you're going to post on your story?
If you go look at my Instagram, I haven't posted a story in like 2 weeks. So,
Wow, okay. And then the second one,
but let me get back to the real question. There is, what is it that you're trying to get people involved in on your story? That's the real question you're asking. What is it that you're wanting people to engage with?
Mhm.
That's the question. What is it that they're trying to engage with? Why are you posting a story? If you don't even know why you're posting a story, then what, like, if you don't know what content people are enjoying, go ask them. Hey,
Yeah.
what is it that you guys you want to learn more about? Cool, there's your story. What is it that you want to learn more about? XYZ. Boom.
So you're doing this a lot of this selling without social proof, or are you running it to like a VSL and then they're watching all that shit over there?
Dude, I just run ads. They don't care. Like people are they're gonna click on the ad no matter who you are. If you have a really good ad, it doesn't matter. Like there's some dudes out there that are probably making the same amount of money with less followers than even me, but they just have really good content, really good ads, and the messaging is clear cut. That's really what Will's trying to get with you guys is it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about your message and the outcome that you're delivering on.
So when you run the ad, you have the triage call, and then they book into the 45. You're not getting them to watch anything, fill anything out. It's just straight there.
Well, yeah, I have all that process
Okay.
within that time frame, but that slows the process down.
Yeah.
If I can just get you to a call as soon as possible, and you're talking to a real human, what are you going to be more inclined to do? Oh, I want to keep talking to a real human, or hey, please go fill out this survey so that way I can know 20 more questions about you. It's like, no, I got you on the call now. Let me say, hey, what is it that you're actually looking for, and what is it that how can I support you?
Yeah.
If I can get that done early on, they're going to be so much more willing to sign up than somebody, hey, go watch this 20-minute video of my client, Adam, who did this great thing. It's like,
You
no,
guys, let's be real. Raise your hand. If you guys ever came through a coach or anything like that, how many of you guys actually watched anything they sent you? Right? Uh, Cole's like, hey, did you watch John's 20, 30 minute, like it's not like it's getting somebody to a call.
Yeah.
That's
And
it.
then
Go ahead.
on your triage call, when they're getting it, like when they're asking, because I'm sure people ask about pricing, do you just give it to them? Do you give it to them monthly, or do you kind of just try to veer them away from that direction?
in which sense, the DM process or right on the call?
Right on, like say they're on the triage call and they're like, hey, you know what, this sounds amazing, but I'm within a budget. What does this look like?
I said, well, it's all dependent on your needs. That's why I want to provide you as much value as possible. That's why I'm actually talking to you right now, so I can make sure I have the appropriate information before we get onto our strategy. So that way we do have plenty of options from a month to month or the full program package, but without knowing exactly what you need beforehand, that's why we're having this conversation. That way, when you do show up, I'll have all the information provided for you.
And Cole, the other thing that if you look at Brett's numbers too, Brett, I think last month, took 175 calls, maybe 180. And Brett didn't make offers to everybody. So I think that's really important to understand too, is one of the things that will mess with you mentally is making offers to people that you know never were going to sign up. Right. And Cole, you know this probably better than anybody, right? There's no point to make an offer to somebody that is a bad lead because then you look at your numbers and you're like, my sales is bad. No, you should have never have offered that person in the first place.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the one shit thing about Supra, and I kind of complained about it, is they actually just went off our total calls. So it
Yeah.
was kind
Like
of
this,
annoying.
why is this person even on the call in the first place? You're like,
Exactly. Yeah.
somebody screwed up with this, but that can start to mess with you. So don't be afraid, guys, in a 10-minute call, even if they do get to the 45, you don't have to go 45. If this is a waste of your time, you know it's not going to be a good fit, just end it. Call it a day.
So right now I'm kind of like dropping a bit of a price, but like you would definitely try to veer away from that completely.
Well, yeah, they're already asking for the price. It's probably even not a person that you want to work with anyways, because they're just looking for a quick fix rather than really making an investment. And it's not so much that, yeah, I understand human nature is the price. Hey, what's the price? What's the price? What's the price? And I get that in the DMs all the time. It's like, hey, the price is based on your needs. And that's really where is we have multiple options from month to month or the full program cost over the course of either a 4, 8, or 12-month process. That's where all of this is going to be. So without knowing more information based on what your needs are, I can't definitively give you an answer that way I'm not setting myself up to say I can't even deliver what you're asking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of tricky because I went 0-4 in sales calls, and then I started kind of pitching a little bit of like the lowest price on the triage call, and then I went 1 for 1 because they know what they're getting into. But then on the flip side, there's so many people that you're going to lose that probably would sell, but as soon as they hear the price, they're like, fuck it, like I don't even know what I get, and like you don't get a chance to sell them the value behind it. So I don't really know which one's best to
Well,
do.
I would never pitch a price usually unless I'm being an asshole and I have to be in DMs and somebody's bothering me and I just don't want to waste my time. Then I'll tell you because you're annoying me and I don't want to waste my time. Otherwise, I know if you hear the price, you're basing that price off what you think I do,
Mm-hmm.
which 9 times out of 10 is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have the assumption that this is what I do, and then you base that price off that assumption, you're gone. So if I think that you do macros and workout plans and you say it's $300 a month, you're fucked.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think that is what you do. And you're like, no, that's not what I do, but that's their belief, right? So you can't overcome that in DMs. You have to get them on a call to figure that out because it's not even about the information anyways. It's about what they want. And they don't even know what they want because they've never actually spoke about it out loud. They've never spoken it into existence of who they want to be.
Yeah, it's really just a numbers game then, right? Because like those 4 calls were all nurses, and like the very bottom package I'm running was 300 a month. And when it came time to pitch it, they're all 4 of them were like, "Holy fuck, that's so expensive." And I'm like, "This is my ideal client. They're good working, like a nurse makes decent money, and that price range is out of their budget." Like it was just crazy to me. And then I was like, "Hey, am I wasting my time doing this? Maybe."
Or your messaging wasn't clear. They still
Could
had
be.
the understanding that you were just doing fitness and macros.
And that's why,
Mm,
guys, I tell you guys to make a lot of videos and content saying I'm not a fitness coach. I'm not somebody that does this and be very direct with it.
Well, that's all.
But
Yeah, that's why I don't remember who asked, or you asked, Brett, why do you not even talk about fitness anymore? Because of that reason. Because then they have the preconceived notion of
that's what we do.
exact, hey, I do cookie cutter $99 a month training plans. Here you go. This is for everybody. Where it's like, no, this is super hyper specific. And that's why if we niche down, it's super hyper specific to then put you in that position to say, I am the leading expert in this field. This is what I do to help you create X, Y, or Z.
Yeah. And even with me, guys, like if I talk about, hey, are you a struggling fitness coach making like I'm gonna guess what I'm gonna get? I'm gonna get what I'm asking for. You know, if I'm saying, are you this person, then guess what I'm gonna get? I'm gonna get those people. I don't want those people. So for me, I need to be very specific. You know, I need to say, hey, listen, are you somebody that's making 20K or 30K or whatever? You know, I even do that so much full that I even have people that are like, I don't know if I qualify for your program.
mhm.
You know, which is good and bad, right? I'm pushing out people, but at the same time, and then I can have a conversation with them. But like, you just have to be very intentional with your language. You know, if
Mhm.
there's any vagueness to it, then there's room for interpretation. If there's room for interpretation, then they can see it as as they see fit, right? So they're going to make assumptions based off everything else they know. So stop saying you do this. Stop saying like associating yourself with that. Okay.
Mhm.
Last minute questions, guys, because I don't want to take up too much of Brett's time today. Yes. No.
Going once,
Okay.
going twice.
Any last
Is
minute
it
words? What?
is it possible to see your triage call, like the script for it or anything, or is that something you don't want to share?
Oh yeah, I'm an open book. I think Nick has it. I think I sent it to Nick to give to you guys?
Which Nick B?
Burns. Yeah, Nick B.
Okay.
That's the same way I got in this program. Will count down from 3, 2, 1.
What?
I was just joking. I saying that's the same way I got into this program. Is like you got to do this right now. I
Oh,
was like,
Nate.
okay. No, with Nate.
Oh yeah, dude. I think Nate was at a country concert, half buzzed, trying to close you.
I told Zach when I signed up, I could tell he was pretty fucked up. He's like, "Let's go, man! You're fucking." I was like, "Yeah." I actually told Zach I thought he was pretty fucked up.
Oh, there you go. You're it. So, anyways, guys, that's it. I appreciate your time, Brett. Again, guys, if you have more questions, please post to the group, the chat. But like I said, guys, hopefully there's some valuable lessons in here that you guys can all take into your business and start to have some big months. So that's it, guys. I'll catch you guys soon. And that's it. Later.